No, screw the intro. I'm time itself. And, you just want the video. And I just want to play my game, Dice. Come on. Why do I have to load a screen before I can tell you that I want to load the menu? Treyarch figured out that it was a good thing to let people set the option to say, yes, please load me into multiplayer by default. Well, how about you just give us the option to say, yes, load the menu by default? This is one of those weird things, and that's kind of what I want to talk about in this commentary, is all the weird things DICE did that just make, not the gameplay, but all the experience around it just kind of grating, honestly. And I'm going to point a few of them out, and, let's see what you guys think about it. Alright, I admit I'm not an interface designer, but one of the first things you notice about Battlefield is how the player customization and weapon customization, the menus are really weird. You have to tab through everything, and there's no way to preview the entire list. It's really, really weird. And that's going to come up again later. But they figured out that it was a problem, because when you go to change what weapon you have with what class in the middle of a game, the menu it brings up, lets you, it's the whole box of all the guns, and you can scroll around a little bit faster if you know where everything is, and you kind of have a rough idea of the order. When you're in there in the customized window, you have to page through all the guns and all the options, and you gotta no, okay, there's the gun I want. Same thing with the specializations. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it has to be that way. Somebody just thought it looked good, and instead it's just difficult to use. And eventually you do end up memorizing exactly the order and how many times you're going to have to push that button. But, when you unlock new stuff, you're like, where's that new thing I unlocked? And you forget about the new stuff you've unlocked and you haven't tried yet, just because it's buried somewhere in that menu, and you have to keep tabbing over to find what's new or what you want to use. The next set of issues is far too familiar to any veteran Battlefield 3 player, and I don't want to spend too much time harping on it because I've already talked about it, but that is, playing with friends is way too hard in Battlefield. It's the reason why a lot of my friends don't play it anymore. I just got tired of putting up with that BS. There's basically no point to setting up a squad before you try to join a server, and once you're in, you're going to have to try and get together again. And then, I hope you only have 3 friends, because you get any more than that, and they're probably going to end up on the other team. It's just ridiculous. Continuing on that line of thought about squads, this one I talked about before too, is that you see a lot of squads that aren't full, and that you can lock squads that aren't full. And maybe sometimes you don't want a full squad, but usually you do. It drives me nuts to join a game and see that there are 4 squads of 3 players instead of 3 squads of 4, because, again, squad perks and spawns are important. There might be a few cases when that's useful, but usually it's not, and you're just hurting the team. Squad specializations. Now that's another one. Yes, it's a noob mistake to get them doubled up, but it happens far too frequently, even with players who know what they're doing and are trying to avoid it. I would give you the example of a lot of the times I switch over to engineer, and either I've just doubled up squad explosives, or I don't have squad explosives at all, and that makes a big difference in the number of rockets I get, which is probably why I switched to that class. And, good teams can keep a level head and sort it out. You got a heated battle going, some words can be poorly phrased, and it can lead to some rather unhappy conversations. Really, at this point, I'm convinced it's a game design issue that should be addressed. Just make it easier to get what you want, and give your squad what you want, and not so much of this, oh, too bad you made a mistake, now it has no effect at all. But back to servers and matchmaking. Right now, quick search is basically useless because you don't know if the server it's joining you into, you have no idea what the ticket count on that is. Can I just get a quick search for a normal rush server, please? And you don't know if the server is running mixed game types, or if it's all rush, all conquest, or all TDM. There's no way of knowing. And if you want to play one, you could end up in another, maybe almost as soon as you join the game, because the one you thought you were joining is over. On a similar note, even the server browser isn't that much better. You still can't see what the ticket count is set to in the game. You don't know if you're joining a 200, a 500, or a 50% rush server. I'd like just a normal rush server, thank you. And you gotta go in and check and see what all is on the playlist. When I search for my servers in the server browser, I'd like to be searching the entire playlist of those servers. but that's not how it works. So I often end up having to go in and look at the rotation for every server I think about joining. And in the end, it means that I just keep a short list of favorites that I join instead of going out to find more to try. Alright, another one is that custom controller mapping has been a real issue for a while now in games, and I still don't understand why we can't do it, but in Battlefield 3 it would be appreciated. For me, I would like to try switching knife and spot. While I've gotten fairly good at using the middle of my thumb on the left thumbstick so that I can always have the end of my thumb over the back button, it's not quite as good as actually holding the controller normally, and I'd like to go back to giving that a try. On to more stuff. Well, one thing I don't understand about Battlefield is how kills come fairly slow. That's just how the game is, but it requires a lot of kills to get a lot of the unlocks for most of the guns, and it can take a very long time. So this encourages players to do things like play TDM on No Shar Canals, where kills can come fairly quickly and you can just get your unlocks. Why we have to play in something like that in order to get unlocks in a timely fashion, I don't understand. That seems to be a fairly bad oversight in terms of game design. I mean, it seems like it's there just to draw out the game, make the leveling up process longer. And really, if the game's good, I'll play it. You don't need to worry about that. Similarly, with vehicle upgrades, honestly, every time I get in a vehicle, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage. I just unlocked thermal optics for the tank the other day. I'm told this isn't something I normally want to run, and I'm kind of glad because if it was important, I would have hoped that I got it sooner because I'm like 200 gameplay hours in, and yeah, I would hope that I have all the functional stuff that I actually need to be competitive in games. That's just something I don't understand, why you would put useful stuff behind lots of playtime and give people who know what they're doing even more of an advantage. So, while I don't have enough faith in DICE to think that they'll put constructive criticism to any use at this point, for me it's what I should be looking out for in other games to kind of steer me away and know that, hey, that's probably going to be an issue. No, it's been fun, but, well, Battlefield, it's not perfect. Anyway, guys, again, I don't want to be too negative, but just a few thoughts and maybe some constructive criticism to look out for in other games. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you later.